back again.
Back at it.
Episode 4, and this time we actually showed up with a guest. We keep saying that we're going to, and we never do.
Glad to be the first.
Yes, we have my
welcome.
roommate who's not my roommate,
Yeah,
Connor.
we're occasional roommates.
Yes, and can we see the logo's a little bit missing, but there it is. Just stay like that the whole time.
There you are.
Well, I wear
So welcome, John Connor Bass. He is my friend from high school, my roommate. He's not my roommate, and the head props master for Looks Attached, and that means he makes our clothes. And yes,
Those beautiful dresses you saw in detention, and that jacket, and those clown outfits you saw in our last room. It's all this man.
Oh, and my pants from Halloween. Everyone, I did end up being a Bratz doll, and you have to see the picture of the Bratz doll to know that I actually did destroy that costume. I nailed it 100%, but he made me pants on the day of, out of like men's 50 waist jeans.
50 waist. Yeah.
Wow. Come on,
Yeah.
talent.
Yeah.
And they're really sick. So
A lot of fun.
go give me a like. That would be great. Boost my engagement at Cee Cee Huffman.
I also love that we were both something plastic for Halloween. I was Ken, if you guys did not know. Oh, yeah, no.
You are Ken.
I'm every day I'm Ken, but for Halloween I was also Ken, the doll specifically. Last time you heard I was going to be Gretchen, but that changed to Barbie and Ken because, of course, I have to pull out that at some point. Like if you've got a name like that, you have to do it. You just simply have to.
You did, and you did that.
Period. Thank you.
Connor was just Halloween
I was
generally as an
festive.
entity.
Yeah.
The
We
way
ran
that
out-
you
I ran
wear
out
a
of
Christmas
time
sweater.
making your costume.
But all right, so Connor, pretend it's your first day in a class and the teacher says, introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself a little bit. Give us a fun fact or two. What's your favorite color? You know, shit like that.
Okay. Well, as you've said before, my name is John Connor Bass. I'd like to refer to myself as a fashion designer. I went to FIT in South Korea for 2 years, then lost my visa. Well, not lost, didn't get a new visa.
Yeah.
And moved back to the States last year. And thus far, been working on a couple companies working in sustainability in the fashion industry and, you know, doing more systemic change than anything else. Fun facts, favorite color is just like any kind of teal, blue.
That's cute. I didn't know that.
I like, good teal, a little green, a little blue.
Right.
Yeah,
Best
best
of
of
both
both
worlds.
Yeah. Fun fact was like we were like practically celebrities in Korea when we were over there.
That is tea.
That was a lot of fun.
I would like to hear that. Like, why?
Yeah.
How?
Well, so like I went, and one of my goals for Korea was, wouldn't it be absolutely hilarious to be famous in Korea and not in the US? So I could like come back and have like my normal life and then go over and be all glamorous. And then it accidentally kind of happened with FIT being like really popular and everyone in Korea was really excited that we were there. So we got like, we went fashion week twice a year, got tickets, we'd go to big parties, we'd, go clubbing with all the models and designers and stuff. And it was all crazy surreal and didn't really lead up to anything. It was like, we just had a glamorous 2 years and then we all left. And it's
Yes, but there's a magazine that has a picture of him and his full name in it as like the token American, and it's pretty iconic.
That was very iconic.
That was a funny one. What was me and my girlfriend Eugen got an offer to go to the shoot for, I think it was Singles magazine in Korea. And we didn't know that at the time, so we both showed up and did this photo shoot, and we were both on separate pages. I think I was on the same page as her sister, which she didn't like very much. And I got featured in Esquire Singapore, which was hilarious. We found a month later because none of us read Esquire Singapore.
Right. And if you look at our website at our about page of our team, that picture of him is the one from Esquire Singapore, and it is an absolute iconic photo.
It is so
Yeah.
iconic. I'm just like, damn, like, where were you when this picture was taken? I want something like that of me. And I love that you had this like little taste of fame. Like, please, that is
Well, that one was
the
funny
best way to do
too.
it.
Yeah, that was a Fashion Week thing, and so half of Fashion Week is like photographers just like taking pictures of you just so that they like get a shot of everyone. And I didn't even know that picture had been taken. And the only reason I got it was my friend Brandon, who's dressed in like a kind of like all black cowboy kind of tech wear stuff. He was behind me in the photo, and one of his friends found the photo with him in the background and sent it to him. So
And Eugen's in the background of that one too.
And my girlfriend's in the background, which she also hates that picture.
But it's cute. And if you have ever listened to a single episode, you listen to me talk about Connor and Eugen all the time because they're essentially my only two friends at this point, other than Ken. And so now you're actually finally here to speak for yourself.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to talk more. Oh, go ahead.
You do a better job explaining me than I do.
Yeah, you know me. I love a good word. Connor is the first person to be like, Cee Cee loves a really good sentence.
Yeah.
I do. And I love to fucking talk.
That's why we're here.
Okay, I want to talk about sustainability because that's, I mean, at the core of pretty much everything that you do. I've recently been trying to get more sustainable, and I think you're really going to help with that because you will do things like make me jeans in a couple of hours. And so I want to like talk about how you kind of got into it and like what we can all do to be more sustainable because it's a lot easier than I thought. I think like at first I thought it was going to be really hard and scary and difficult, but it's really not that difficult at all.
No, I think the easiest way to think about like living more sustainable lifestyle is like just giving every aspect of what you do and the products you absorb and all of that is just having meaning. So like when I specialize within the fashion industry, so all my examples would be with clothes, but you think about, you go to H&M, you buy a $5 t-shirt. Well, like what does that take to make a t-shirt for $5? Like, should it be worth $5? What does $5 mean in terms of like my satisfaction of buying a product and the use I get out of it? So I do a lot of research into like the product lifestyle cycle of things. So like as a fashion designer, like we totally understand how long, if I make a $5 t-shirt, that t-shirt costs me 10 cents, 20 cents to make, right? And I've paid a person $1 or $2 a day at max to make this t-shirt. And this t-shirt has gone to more countries than I have in its lifetime. And it's made to last you about 6 to 12 months. So when you put that into perspective and realize like, oh, this like fast fashion and all of this stuff is just wasteful. It's just like the whole industry, the way that business is set up is to waste and waste and waste with minimal risk of losing money. Because when you make, millions and millions of $5 t-shirts, you sell enough of them and you make a profit.
Yeah, millions, you get $5 million. Like
exactly.
Easy.
Yeah. But you didn't, but they cost you next to nothing to make these things. This is like, it's something corporations exploit a lot, especially in the past like 30 years. Like 30 years, more than 30 years ago, that's not how we made clothes. We made clothes in the US, locally, we sourced locally. You think of North Carolina and Burlington being the capital in the world for textiles. And that industry, Burlington Industries, fell because we decided it was cheaper to make things in these sweatshops in India and Vietnam and Thailand and all of these other places that we don't have to see. Like it's all far away. You don't interact with these people like you did in Burlington. If something went wrong in Burlington, we knew about it because our family was there. But when you outsource it across the world, you don't really like get that same controversy and whatnot there. But in my mind, you don't get as much like meaning to your clothes because like they're made by large groups of people that these industries don't want you to know about because they're not treated well. They get paid next to nothing. You know, $1 or $2 is really good in this industry, right? Which seems absurd to us, like $1 or $2 a day for and crucial, like just terrifying work and awful work conditions and whatnot. And you get, you know, a meaningless product. It's like when I make clothes, I get so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get so excited to make clothes and be innovative with it and also like give a product to someone or you know have someone relate and put meaning into these clothes that I can't do, right? Like the jeans I made for you, like I can't wear those jeans. I don't want to wear those jeans, but when you do it, you feel great and they're awesome and they
Right.
fit.
Yeah.
But there's also a better story behind it, you know? It took me a day to make them. Maybe it's not this like elaborate thing, but it's much more of a story that you can tell someone than, oh, I went to H&M and I paid $10 for a pair of jeans. I find that, you know, if you go out to a restaurant and you want food, well, you expect and hope that it's made in the back from the people who are paid to make it. And
Right.
it's, you know, we like, especially in Raleigh, like farm to table is a big thing. Of we like to know where the food originates and how it gets to the table. But you don't have that same relationship with clothes. And clothes, you know, you wear every day. Like, this
Right.
is
You eat a couple times a day, but you wear one thing all day long. So
yeah.
like,
Yeah. And I
Um,
think one of the big things that I like that you were saying was the fact, well, basically, like you were putting it on like these corporations, like they are the ones that have like started this. You know, this is
yeah,
happening because these corporations want money. And I feel like their goal a lot of times are to pin it on the consumers and make them believe that like it's all their fault, or you know, like a lot of people in reality don't have the money to afford to just like pay for really expensive things that they know were like locally sourced and everything. And you know, a lot of shame can come from like shopping at these places because I mean, obviously they're bad places to shop at, but like it's not the people who are bad, it's the corporation that is bad.
sure.
Um
Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, so that's a lot of what I do. I'm mostly work in kind of industry change rather than promoting consumer change because it really annoys me, to be very honest. Like, I don't believe that as a consumer, I have to figure out and limit what I buy based on the pollution and waste that these corporations are making. It's not my fault that, you know, the fashion industry is second to fossil fuels and pollution and waste. It's
Exactly.
their fault. Like,
Yeah.
I know, just, you know, you can figure it out on your own just thinking about the amount of waste and pollution that you emit and your footprint, right? Just as a regular human is not, you know, obviously it's not perfect, it's not great, and there are ways that we can, you know, adjust the ways we live to, you know, we can do better. But the real problem is these factories and these pollutants that are being made without any restrictions by these big corporations that are only running on profits, and that's the only thing they care about. There's not a lot in the way to say that they can't do it either. So the big thing with how I view clothes now, and especially like the future of clothes, just from an industry standpoint, is like they're going to get more expensive because sustainably, not just talking about, you know, like climate change and the environment sustainable, but just how sustainable is $1 a day? It's not sustainable. You can't live off of $1 a day. No one can.
no.
And that
Yeah.
simple fact of, you know, the way we're doing it now is by definition not sustainable because you are not giving living wages. You're wasting millions and millions of tons of fabric. Like H&M was shipping millions of tons of wasted garments that were either unsold, unfinished, or just didn't work through quality control, and they'd box these up, put them on a ship, and they would sell it to Africa. And Africa, a lot of countries in Africa that were taking these for textile resources, and the idea was that they would get free or really cheap textile resources, but what they really were was millions and tons of these $5 t-shirts that don't do anyone any good because they just fall apart. And a lot of these African countries had to just say, no, we can't, we literally don't have the space to take this anymore. The fact that we've gotten that far in 30 years of making clothes a little bit different to make, trillions of dollars, it's like, it's an obvious problem.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it sounds like a pretty big issue.
Like, it sounded bad before, but damn.
And I think, people, like Ken was saying, it's hard to think, you try and live your life without guilt of the things that you do, but you can't. Like, when you need something to wear and you can't afford something, of course you're going to end up with a $5 t-shirt. So the fact that we are supposed to think about how we make these decisions, you're right, it's really not fair. But what I really like too is what you said about having meaning in your clothes, because that's something that I have really been trying to do, because I've talked about it before. I've been cleaning out all of my closet and selling it to an upcycle thrift store and then like donating it to other places. And so I have been like coming up with these bags of clothes that I don't really like give a shit about. And I'm like, why do I have these? I don't really like it. It's kind of not great. It doesn't look like anything I will wear. So I like pick things up and I say, like, does this make me happy? Do I really care about this thing? And I think that's really important to deciding, like, it helps you personally. And it's really just important to deciding like what your wardrobe is going to be.
For sure. And you're just going to like all the pieces in your closet like much more if they each have a meaning, if they each have a story. So
do you have an item, Connor, in your closet that you think has the best story or something that you really like?
I have like a whole bunch of clothes right beside me. I'm looking through here. A good store. I have a lot of clothes. Like, I know I'm talking about whole like sustainability and whatnot. I have a lot of clothes that I literally can't wear. I will never give up.
Hey, but that's what Agatha's for. Agatha is this model, mannequin that they got from Craigslist like years and years ago. Her pose is, the girl is breaking her back every day. Let me tell you.
She has a good pose. Yeah, Agatha was our first and only model for hair this much. We bought her off Craigslist for $30 from some like really fun people, I guess. Yeah, but as far as meaningful clothes and like it, I don't know. This jacket is my favorite, honestly.
I know exactly. I knew that was what you were gonna pull.
I can't wear this. I think it either borders on cultural appropriation or it's just a little too much. But I love it. It's a Frank Joseph Bastille jacket. He was a French designer in the 80s. And I think he was really cool. He did really interesting stuff. I have a couple other little archive pieces from him.
That coat is gorgeous, by the way.
It's super cool, yeah.
Yes, for those of you who are listening audio only, it's like this, how would you describe the pattern? Like this Mother Mary, like beautiful, like primary colored, like cropped jacket. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I think it almost looks too much like a kind of mariachi style jacket, and that's the reason I don't wear it. But it is beautiful. I mean, the Mother Mary just on the back is perfect. But a great designer. I think he died like at the height of his career, but amazing. Look him up. He's fun. But it does kind of go back into what we were saying about having more meaning with your clothes and whatnot. But one point I wanted to touch on before we move on is that, so like, there's an idea that Ken brought up that, you can't afford something more than a $5 t-shirt. And that's a really interesting thing in the industry, is because t-shirts only recently became that cheap. So like clothes were made to last for a long time, and it was not like no one was hurting trying to get. You either repaired it, you recycled it, or you got it as a hand-me-down from older siblings or your parents.
I wore a sweater from the 80s yesterday, like a sweater that my mom literally wore in college, because it is still that good. And my granny has Alzheimer's and saw it, and she says, I remember that sweater from the 80s, because it's fucking 40 years old. It's older than me.
Yeah. So there are ways to make clothes that will last. And we used to do it for a long time really well. I mean, sewing machines from 40s and 50s still work today, and I'm like over here trying to fix my little home sewing singer. Like,
Yeah.
we've started making things a lot worse. But the point I'm making is, if you say look at a $5 t-shirt and say a $35 t-shirt, right? That's a big price jump.
Mhm.
But a $5 t-shirt, you're gonna have to buy one every year because that $5 t-shirt will not last you longer than a year. So the idea that I can't afford a $35 t-shirt comes from the mindset that I have to buy it every year. Like I have to continuously buy clothes because that's, at least in our lifetimes, that's how clothes were marketed to us was, oh,
Right.
back to
Yeah.
school, get your new outfits and stuff. And especially like at our age where, most of us have kind of like peaked and growing and whatnot. We're not buying clothes as often. Children's wear is like a whole other like problem where we can't figure that one out. Like, kids just will grow and they can't wear the same things. But as adults, you can buy garments that will last a lot longer. Putting money into your clothes. So say like, I need a suit jacket and I could go to H&M and buy it for $100, or I could really save up my pennies and get a $400 jacket, right? The difference in quality there is already a lot better. So yeah, so you take a $100 jacket, say it has a lifespan of 2 years, then you take a $400 jacket with maybe a 5 to 7 life year span. The money's there. It's an investment, and clothing investment, but you're getting a lot out of it for that price. And I think we'll slowly, I mean, you can already see it with a lot of slow fashion brands where it's like, you get a higher price point. A lot of the brands I work with have a much higher price point than I would normally want to see, especially with t-shirts and stuff. But I fully trust that these are better garments, that they're going to be better for the environment. But the one thing that we have to focus on is that everyone understands why the price is fair. Why, like, what goes into that, and what goes into that is that we pay people a fair wage.
Right.
And-
It's
like,
just that simple, love.
yeah,
yeah.
it's
And
like I can't, it is hard to shell out that money. And I think that slowly see more affordable options in the market for sustainable apparel, but you're never going to reach that $5-10 price point.
Right.
Yeah.
There will be a limit as far as what's cheap, and what's cheap is definitely a lot more than what we see right now.
Yeah, and that's actually what I was like about to hit at too. Like I know I just like defended consumers, but also at the same time, like I feel like we're in a consumer mentality now where like people like are just they want cheap clothes, like, and they don't sometimes understand that you cannot have cheap clothes that are ethical. Like it's just
Yeah.
not something that can happen. They don't go hand in hand. But I feel like, and like I work at a resale store, like some of you may or may not know. But a lot of times people like will complain about like our prices, and I like know like our boss sits down and like really goes through the prices to find out like what really is the cheapest you can price these items at for like students who still want to be like cost conscious, but it's just not gonna be like that $6. I mean, like Forever 21 stuff, like I've been instructed, like I price that at $6 because, or like really cheap because I mean that's what it's worth. But like if it's something vintage or something that's really good quality, like you simply like can't. But you're gonna be paying for it for a long time, like you said. So like that's the give and take for it.
And I have two things that I want to say really fast. First of all, Ken, we never introduced ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
And here we are
normally,
25 minutes in.
right. Normally you catch me about 2-3 minutes in and say, Cee Cee, no, we got to go back. We need to introduce ourselves. I'm Cee Cee.
And I'm Ken.
Welcome
and
to Yikes.
Yikes.
So that was bound to happen. Second of all, I kind of want to shoot the shit a little bit because Connor said once you're an adult, you're the same size, you can buy more expensive things because you're not really going to grow. What Connor used to be 5'11", supposedly.
No.
And he shrunk down to 5'9" somehow. Let's talk about that.
That's traumatizing. So yeah, so this was awful. So like for all of my semi-adult life of thinking, as at least doctors telling me, you're not growing much more. I was going to a pediatrician from 16 to 18, and they recorded my height. as 5'11" for years, like multiple years, multiple checks. It's on my license. It's on my passport that I am 5'11". This is like when I did all of these documents. And then I think I was 19. I came back from Korea and I went to go do like one to like just check up. And then they're like, "Yep, you're 5'9". I was like, "Excuse me? You're 5'9"? Like,
You really just dropped 2 whole ass inches, just like
He was never
we have
5'11".
no idea. I think I've only gotten taller, but every time we check now, it is 5'9", not 5. We don't know what's going on. Like pediatricians just upping people's height to make them feel better or something.
why didn't you do that for me?
Yeah, I'll give you those. It's extra inches falling around. No, it was traumatizing, not fun. So
You've come to terms with it now, though.
I don't think so. I don't.
It's on pause for me. Like,
It's still on my license, and no part of me wants to go and change that.
I feel like that's honestly heartbreaking, though. It's like someone took something from you, a part of you.
Yeah,
2 inches from him.
To be exact, yeah.
like 5'11", pretty much 6 feet. 5'9" is nowhere close.
Right.
Yeah, you're bordering on like rights being taken away. Like,
Yeah, cool.
they hate short kings out here. I don't know what that's about.
And speaking of rights, let's talk about the election. It's the last day before the election actually happens. I'm terrified. I've had 2 meetings with my boss today, and he started both meetings talking about what's the hell's going to happen tomorrow. Connor, I wanted to talk about this with you because Connor has one of the most active Facebook pages of just like your mom's best friend who wants you to know what their opinion is and why yours is wrong in the nicest, most thoughtful way. And I love that about you. So let's hear your thoughts on that. What have you shared this morning?
I haven't shared much recently. I've noticed that I think, after watching a little bit of the like hearings with Facebook and Google and stuff, I think like maybe they've ramped up the extremeness of their algorithm because every time I go on Facebook now, it's a lot of hot mess.
Yeah.
Like, this seems a lot crazier than just a week ago. Like, everyone's just reaching in their pockets trying to find just like the smallest bit of dirt on anyone. So I haven't been posting that much, but I agree. I'm pretty terrified. I've never paid attention to polls and stuff. I wake up and that's the first thing I do every morning.
That's a great way to start your day.
Like, I start off with like a cup of coffee and like a shot of anxiety, and it's not gone away.
Yep. And I mean, it's not going to go away. The worst part about this election is that because of all of like the mail-in ballots, this is going to take so much longer than like it has in the past. And that is just going to be so much worse because this is the one that we would really like to know ASAP. And we're not going to get an answer for longer than we would, normally wait. So yeah. I guess we'll talk about it next week when you're hearing this. It's been a week. How's it going? Let us know. Yeah, leave us a 5-star review and then tell us what's going on in our country.
See, I think
Ken is gone again. Do you see this?
Yeah, he is gone.
All right, well, at least I don't have to talk to myself this time.
That's okay. Yeah. That's better.
We'll wait for him to return.
It's just like his camera died when we start talking about the election.
He died. Oh my God. Oh, it's just the 2 of us now.
Just yike.
Yep, just like other way. There you go. Now it's just like our normal days.
Yep. Partial roommates.
Yeah. So also what we mean by living together but separately, we live in the same building 2 floors away from each other. So we eat dinner together, we watch TV together, we talk all the time, but we also
we got plenty of alone space.
Right. We each have our own kitchen.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much that. And Ken is back again.
There we
Hello.
Did your Wi-Fi cut out?
Yeah, are you surprised? No.
I said at least this time I have somebody else to talk to, so I don't just have to talk to myself.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, that was a quick turnaround that time, first of all. And
Yeah.
also, I've heard many people enjoy,
Oh, you just got out again. You've heard many people what?
like, you and your solo acts last episode.
Oh my God, thank you. I wish it wasn't cutting out while he's trying to give me a compliment and tell me how great I am. That's awesome.
Right.
No, maybe one of these days I'll just do an entire 45 minutes alone. I definitely could. There's enough up here. We can make it happen.
Okay, I think it should be back fully now.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome. We're happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, Connor, I told you to be prepared with like one topic, one thing you kind of wanted to talk about. What is there? What's up there? Let us
What's
into
up
Connor's
there?
mind.
I'm trying to come up with a good topic.
Yeah, in true Connor fashion, he doesn't do it until the very last second.
Yeah, I hate preparation. Do we want to stay on like the topic, like the fashion topic?
We can
or
talk
do we
about
wanna-
whatever
literally
you
be
want.
about anything.
You know what we should talk about? Kind of going back on some of the sustainable ways of doing stuff is I feel like I'm so proud of I have a tiny wardrobe and I'm very proud of it just because I've not paid full price for a single thing I own.
Right.
So I get a lot of my clothes from off markets, sample sales, different stuff like that, which is open to the public, but just not advertised very well. So like there's really easy ways, like if you're on a say like you're on budget or there's Depop, Grailed, stuff like that is always an amazing option to get clothes, but there's always like other routes to get, say, like we can't afford, like I can't afford designer stuff, but when a designer does a sample sale, those sales are like 70, 80 off. Well, maybe I can kind of splurge on that. So there's a lot of really interesting ways that there's other ways to get clothes that are honestly better for like the environment, in my opinion, and kind of just voting with your wallet kind of thing.
Where are those sales normally? Like,
so New York is a big hub for sample sales. So anytime I'm in New York, we'll stop by a few. But they've since COVID, so like it was a kind of harder thing to do pre-COVID.
It was the last place that I went before I flew back for my spring break trip was a sample sale with his girlfriend Eugen.
I love that. Are they like pop-up shops or like stores?
Yeah, so it's literally like just a pop-up, and they last for maybe a week, and it's just samples. So brands have to, like designer brands and more of the high-end stuff, you're gonna have a ton of samples made, and that's pretty much to scale. They're just testing out their product lines and collections, so they make a lot of clothes internally, and then they can't sell those through traditional routes because they're doing their own distribution channels and stuff. So they sell them in these kind of pop-up stuff for really, really cheap because they've not put it through quality control. Most of the time there's like the tags are different than what you would get in the store or whatnot, just because like that's what they had when they were making samples. So a lot of the times you get more interesting stuff. You'll get, I've seen stuff that don't actually go to market. It's just like a sample they ripped off, and then there's kind of a one of one thing going on. But it's super nice, and they're really popular in New York. Unfortunately, they don't happen as much here and around the other states in the US. I know there's brands in Raleigh that do samples, like Raleigh. I used to work for Raleigh Denim, and they do a sample sale every year. They didn't this year because of COVID. But because of COVID, a lot of brands have also done online sample sales.
Yes,
so Helmet Lang is
about to
doing,
say that. Let's talk about the sample sale website because that is where we all need to be.
I'm trying to go right now.
Yeah. There's one coming up, I think.
It's a, what is it? Is it 280 sample sale? What is it?
260 sample sale.
260.
Is the New York one.
I gave you 20 more, just like the doctor gave you 2 more inches.
Yeah. So I think there's like a John Elliott sale this weekend that I'm really excited about. He's an LA designer that does like basic sweatpants and sweatshirts So I'm really excited for it. But they do a lot of stuff online. They're doing it kind of in the midst of COVID and whatnot. It was all online, so it was amazing. It is not all online now, but you can still get it. Like there's still some online options, and it's something that you should definitely check out. It's on a higher price point, but like drastically lower than what you would see like retail price. So you can get a lot of really interesting stuff. I loaded up this whole summer on Helmet Lang because they've been doing like a 90% off sale forever. So there's really like there's cheaper options that are honestly like better quality. And do I suggest like people buy designer clothes? Absolutely not. They are ridiculous. They're really expensive. I love them because I just love kind of absurdist fashion. But in general, they're better quality. They'll last a lot longer. But sample sales, online sample sales.
That was a really good pitch.
I love it. I
Not
wish people would do
sponsored.
it. Not sponsored, and I wish. Oh my god.
Well, we check that though. We check it like every day. Just see what's going on, what's coming up. What should we be on
Yeah,
the
it's
lookout for?
how I calm myself down from looking at the polls. I see who's on the sample sale site.
Take a deep breath and see what you can find.
There goes Arizona, and okay, this is fine. Scroll.
Yeah. Ooh, also, I recently made, okay, so there are two things. I made Connor get on Twitter, which he doesn't really tweet very much, but you
I
would
haven't
thrive
tweeted
there if
out.
you would tweet anything. I also made him get TikTok, and he's not even opened it. I was like,
No.
just download it because they're going to take it off the App Store. You should get it just in case you ever decide that you want it. And he still has, to this day, not even opened the app.
I literally was having a actual pretty heated argument with my friend yesterday about how she should get TikTok. And I was like literally listing out the reasons why she should get TikTok. And she was like, oh, that sounds great, but I'm still not going to download it. But there was no reason. I don't know why that really just got me. Like, I was just like, I'm trying to help you here. Like, this is another life. Like, once you get on TikTok, you understand.
Yeah, you can't get off.
Literally. So let them take your data. Come on.
I'm fine with the data thing. I don't see any problems with it's been described to me many times that our generation just like has no secrets. Like we don't
Right.
care. Like take our
I
data.
gave
What
up
are
on
you
that a
going
long
to
time
do with
ago.
it? Yeah. So I don't really care on the data side. It's more like I remember Vine, and I liked Vine for a while. And then TikTok seemed like I remember it being marketed as like the new Vine.
Mhm.
I didn't care. But
Right.
I think that it also fits in the same way that I can't get into Twitter is like there is difficulty coming into a social media really late in the game. It's
Yeah.
so
Yes.
hard to figure it out because everyone like no one's there to train you, no one's there to walk you through it.
Yeah.
It's like it's going. The train's out of the station.
Literally,
You have to
she's made a
run and
lap
catch up.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
But I
been,
feel like
oh, go ahead, Ken.
I was just gonna say, I feel like everyone's like beginning Twitter experience is all the same though.
Yes.
Like you just like you get up there, it's super overwhelming. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna, head out because clearly there's a lot going on here that I'm just getting in the middle of.
Yeah.
But then you get back on, you slowly start getting into it and you build your feet the way you want it, and suddenly you can't get off. So
It's the same way. But I've been giving Connor social media lessons, which has been
I'm
really
not
fun.
great. Yeah.
Because you can hear Connor loves to talk. And so we talk about a lot of stuff, and he's got a lot of really great thoughts on a lot of things. But the one thing that I've definitely got over Connor is the amount of social media knowledge I have.
Yeah. Like I'll be great at social media as soon as technology progresses that I personally don't have to post. It
Yeah.
just will post for me.
There are platforms that do that. Separate
That's
things. You
scary,
connect your
yeah.
accounts and they schedule it.
Okay, yeah.
And you can technically schedule some of your Facebook rants if you want them to come out at certain times of the day. There's a way you can schedule that too.
Literally, like 8 a.m. This one's gonna make the girls mad. Like, literally.
Yeah.
I love
Who
that
am I going to
energy.
piss off this morning?
Yeah. Literally, the Facebook moms are gonna have a field day with this one. I love that.
Oh, yeah. No, Facebook's brutal.
But it's, you thrive there. You thrive.
Facebook is honestly the scariest for me. Like, I cannot get into that. But that's because I missed that wave when I was like in 4th grade. So now, like, if you were talking about missing that train, like that train
Oh,
literally left
yeah.
in 2010. So it's just too much. But Facebook Marketplace, though, now
Great.
that place
That's
is a
really
great
good.
place.
That's
When
kind of what got me back into Facebook, honestly, was I was like, oh, this is like better Craigslist.
and when we first moved into this building, we were looking at Facebook Marketplace every day to get stuff for Connor's house.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
we get that horrible bench from
Yeah, we
Facebook
did.
Marketplace? This bench, Ken, is a pathetic excuse for a bench. It is like so sad.
Like, it was very obvious that the people selling it to us bought it online, built it, realized it was shit, took it apart, boxed it up, put it on Facebook Marketplace, and let someone else deal with it.
And we dealt with it, and we keep saying that we're going to do something else, build a better bench, whatever, but it is still out there and somehow
Still there.
still standing. I'm using air quotes. It's crooked. And when you sit
I
on
don't
it,
even know crooked's the right word. It's warped in different dimensions.
it's like a cute idea of a bench.
I love that. It's a thought that counts.
Yeah.
But that's what you will never find me. Like, if I see something in a box, I'm like, go ahead and skip it. Like, I'm sorry, that is too much to ask of me to do. Like, I also always feel like there's just like one screw missing. Or like somehow, like, even though I'll organize all the parts, something's always fucking missing. And I can't do that. Like, I'd rather have it shipped here or have someone come in my house and build it for me, but I had to build in a whole armoire, like one of those big, tall closets, like the one that was in my room. And all I had was me and another gay. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, that is not enough, like, work. We got it built. It took 3 hours, but we got it built. But
Connor and I built everything for both of our houses. And I told him as soon as we finished the first like day of building, we built this table that I'm like got the laptop on. We built this bed behind me, this couch over here.
oh my God.
And as soon as we finished that, I was like, Connor, if we just did that and we didn't get mad at each other one time, we're going to be great living together, but separately.
Everything will be fine.
Well, if we can do that and not want to kill the other one, then it's all going to be all right. Oh, and we remember when we hung the TV?
Oh, yeah.
That was horrifying. So I've
Terrifying.
got, let me see if I can shift. I've got this TV over here on this like pole thing. It's on wheels, so I can wheel it around and watch TV in my bed or like put it in the fucking kitchen, you know, wherever the hell I want it to go. And that was one of the last things we did. We put it together and distinctly remember Connor was holding the TV and he was like, you have to hook it on. I can't be the one to drop the TV on the ground. That was an almost argument, but still.
See, like that was definitely terrifying. When moving in, the most terrifying in my experience happened to just not involve you because I had to build me and Eugen's queen size by myself.
Yeah.
I've never felt more like 5'9" before. I was going to die.
But you're a big, strong man. It's all the whiskey. You know?
Yeah, all the whiskey and masculine traits that I will soon have. Yeah.
He said that you're trying to get more masculine. He was like, one day he said, Cee Cee, I want to start drinking whiskey. I just want to have more masculine qualities.
Yeah. Making dresses for a living is a really hard place to be. There are like inescapable stereotypes that go in with it, which I'm fine with. It's a lovely community, but like, you know, I can lift things.
He's like, but I still want to be big and strong.
I can still do the heavy lifting, drinking whiskey, and you know, I don't have many other things. I can't do face hair. I can't do like a big guy.
How's the whiskey thing going?
Terrible. Whiskey sucks. Whiskey is so like just the worst.
I've had a little bit of it, but every time we actually do drink whiskey, one of us ends up waking up the next day just feeling like absolute garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like I can't even drink whiskey like the cool way. of like drinking it straight, or like I need like a whiskey sour. I need something to eat in a martini glass, or I need some sweetness.
Can you put sugar on my rim? Very masculine. Love it. Love it.
Started drinking sweet tea just to get the image,
So what is your like go-to drink? Because we drink a lot of different things. Normally you get, like craft, like fancy kind of fun beer with cool names, and like that's what we do. And I drink White Claw. That's pretty much our like day-to-day.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, that's our day-to-day kind of vibe. But what is your like red wine?
Red wine.
I think it's it.
Yeah, red wine and like anything with pretty much gin. I like gin a lot. I'll drink some gin, like sipping, get some good strong gin. But red wine is like key to my heart. I can go really far with a bottle of wine.
And Connor, after a glass of red wine, gets so nice. The
just
things
like
he's ever said to me are after a glass of red wine.
I'm a much better human after a glass or two of red wine.
I literally feel like it warms your heart, like in all ways. Like,
it
feels so great, and I just want to give love.
But then it's like glass 3 and 4. You're like, you are a beacon of hope.
I feel like that I'm not a red wine person. I've become more of a red wine person because Connor buys red wine and asks me if I want a glass of it, and I say yes, please. So I've become more of a red wine person, but I'm still like, as Gaga says, I'm a Pinot Grigio girl. Like I am.
Pinot stands. Yeah.
But I will drink a red wine when Connor hands it to me.
Look, I'll say this: only red wave coming tomorrow. is coming my way
in celebration.
Knock on wood.
Literally.
Yes. But I mean, we can hope. I think I've talked about this already, but we played for the first debate, the one that was just a shit show and everyone was yelling at each other and no one could talk. We played a drinking game where you had to like choose your fighter, essentially. Like, are you Trump or are you Biden? And you had 5 things you had to do, or 5 things that they had to do, and you had to drink every time they did it. Oh yeah, keywords.
If they said any of these words, you had to drink.
Yeah. And I was the only one who picked Biden, and here's the deal. And I was drunk before that debate was over. Absolutely drunk. So I don't know, maybe we'll take a shot tomorrow every single time a steak comes in, and then we'll be dead, so we don't have to see that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I honestly I'm trying to decide how I want to celebrate the night. Should I am I gonna give it a tease, not look for a while? What am I gonna do? I don't know.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
I remember 2016, I was working in a restaurant on election night, and we knew what the results were by the lack of people coming in every hour. Well, we started off the night with 3 or 4 tables, and by 8 o'clock it was empty. Streets were empty. Everyone was sad, and we all went home. So I'm very worried to party too early tomorrow, because you want that. We're gonna party. Let's go off on a bang. Let's get happy. But that's a flip of a coin right there that I don't really like.
Right. We'll find out. Let us know. We'll fucking see. Well, everyone, and does anybody have any final thoughts, class? Any questions, anything they want to share before we go? Oh, we do have something to share.
Ooh, it's the fashion tip of the week. And you know what? I'm going to come up with it on the fly right now.
True Connor fashion. We're honoring our guest.
Yes. Let's talk fall colors. Okay, so I feel like every year it's always the same burnt orange, olive yellow. That's my thing. Olive, mustard yellow. But fuck those colors. They're out. Get rid of them. They're canceled. I think a big color that I've been seeing popping this year is that pastel purple. And that is the moment, let me tell you.
I literally almost wore pastel purple today.
Yes, taste. it's such a light color. I think it looks well on like a lot of people's different skin tones, and it can complement it in a different ways. Like on dark skin, it's like gives this nice pop, and then even on light skin, I think it just looks good. Period. So you should try to add some pale purple to your wardrobe, and also seafoam green.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
That's what I was
am
gonna
in
say.
love with that color, and I also think that looks very good on a lot of different skin tones. But be careful, don't go for like that sweet pea green. That can make you look like you're about to puke. It's really got to be that sea foam green color. And it's kind of teal, which is Connor's favorite color. So
We love it. That's
yeah.
great.
That's it for me.
Fashion boy, you got anything to add to that?
Ooh, not really.
Oh, sorry, fashion man.
Like cool tone pastels, definitely the direction we want to go this this winter.
I agree.
That's about that's all. I'm not good on style. I can make clothes. You gotta make it look good.
Well, everyone, that's
It's
it.
been real.
Thank you so much, Connor, for joining us. Actually, are you working today for the rest of the day?
Yeah,
You want to work together? That would be nice.
let's do it.
All right.
Oh
well,
my God, a little
I'm gonna have
date. Connor, can you plug your socials for them?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
We didn't even really talk about Enteritus, but you can go find out.
Well, yeah, you can find out for yourself at Enteritus I don't know what it's called.
_ official.
Enteritus _ official.
Yes.
And then mine is Seabass 008.
Yes. Like an agent.
Like an agent, I guess.
All right. Well, I'm so glad that you could join us as our first official guest. Honestly, there's no more fitting first official guest.
Yes.
I couldn't think of anything. Yes, yikes. I couldn't think of anyone better.
It's
But
been fun.
yes,
Happy to
so
be
we'll
here.
see you. I guess we'll see you next week. We'll either be crying or we'll be drunk.
Doing something.
We'll see.
Stay tuned.
We'll fucking find out. Oh, and also, bye, Misaki.
Bye.